I decided today I'm going to do just a quick reading without adding any extras unless I'm absolutely drawn to do something. This is where we'll be reading on the Kindle Fire, continuing Molasses Moon. And in the last video, previous video, also recorded today, I showed a lot of preliminary stuff with the Kindle Fire and the Kindle keyboard. And this time I think I'd like to just do some straight reading and make a little progress in the book. So we'll just dive right in where we left off yesterday. Besides, I've given you enough worthwhile information for one book. If I stopped right here and typed a big "The End," you'd have gotten more than your money's worth, and most of my goads would be gone. I could continue them in my next book, Life. You have to leave something for the Grim Reaper, don't you? Enough is enough, especially since I'll have to sit on this book anyway. But I wonder. It might be like fishing, making your own cues. I know I said I was frying cues, not catching them, but I'm switching bases midstream. First things first. First you catch, then you fry the fish. You stay out of the frying pan, and don't jump into the fire either. You'll be sorry if you do jump in. You'll get burned, so don't. That was a pretty good one, huh? Not as good as the one that got away. Anyway, fishing. You set a bait, dangle it in the right spot with just the right rhythm, and hope a fish is fooled into biting. That's like sending out queries. Boy, could I tell you about the ones that got away. But I already did. In my other books. I feel silly plugging my other books in this one, now that I know Molasses isn't getting published either. But as I say often, what the hell. I probably won't be able to stop pretending, acting as if I would succeed one day. Boy, typing the word succeed almost made me break down and cry. I could even sob. UC made me type would, W-O-O-D, instead of word in the previous sentence. Wonder what he meant by that. That I would succeed, W-O-U-L-D. He also typed UX instead of UC. That made me laugh out loud. Like he's making a joke that he doesn't exist either. He's been X'd out. I guess he's trying to be encouraging. What a sweetheart. At least I'll never be lonely as long as he's around. From 2012. Does this qualify for talking to yourself? Big time, probably. Okay, back to the book. Oh, I'm got ahead of myself. I didn't realize what I'd said next. Talking to UC is different than talking to oneself. Maybe when people do that, though, they're talking to their UCs without knowing it. Just think how good this book would make you feel if you were one of those people who talks to himself. Well, that's enough for cues now. I think I've covered them. If you want to understand them better, go back to chapter 23. I said quite a bit there. It might take more than one reading for it to sink in. You want to be sure you get it all. And as far as the different numerological values of Q, the letter, Q, the word, and the formula for Q, don't try to add apples with oranges and kiwi. It's the kiwi that counts anyway. The formula is the key. 6 is the value. Mathematical formulas always take precedence when you're looking for the most precise meaning from which to base any undertaking or understanding. So there. Not that numerology and language aren't a good base for research too. It's just that math is the most precise language. If we have to boil things down to the base number for true meaning and go from there. So the value of Q is 6 in the 10 base system. Wasn't that an easy, quick, painless goad removal? Good enough. You have to do some of the thinking here. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. Give you some appetizers for thought. Then let you provide the rest of the meal yourself. BYOES. Bring your own egg sandwich. And remember that there are crossings, like X's, for space and time. They're likely all over the place, like flies on shit. As you see implying here that space is attracted to time, like flies are to shit? That would mean space actually feeds on time. Doesn't sound too good for a stable, healthy reality, does it? Does time stink? Or give off some type of radiated odor to attract space? Is time a fertilizer, like dung? Is it a waste product of something? Maybe delayed desire? These ideas ought to keep us busy for a while. In a sense, time does feed on space or on things. Things deteriorate with time. But is time broken down by space somehow? It could be. Maybe too much space can slow time down. Maybe enough space could even stop time altogether. Would that stop physical reality? I think it would. I think time and space are interdependent. But maybe a certain balance must be maintained in these two dimensions at their crossings to keep one from overwhelming and deleting the other, thereby also deleting itself. Oh, I meant to tell you, I figured out how to tell a true scientist. Not all of them carry ID cards. UC kept typing IC cards. Okay, here's how you can tell a scientist who doesn't go around flaunting his credentials. Catch her in the act of wandering around. Wondering. So back to the idea of precision balance at space-time crossings. I wonder if environmentalists are making up crazy laws to avoid upsetting that balance before they know exactly what it is or how to maintain it. It doesn't matter what they know or don't know. Their laws aren't to protect an environment that doesn't need protecting before they know how. That's just a cover. They're for the purpose of choking human industry. It still amazes me that certain members of human species have developed such a hatred for their own race. Or is it a terror of their own development and power, of their own creativity? I just had a funny thought. Maybe it's a fear of their own UCs, a fear of flying freely into the unknown. Maybe it's a fear of the right side of the brain. Well, that's a strange thought. I wonder if the crossing points from the right and left hemispheres of the human brain have anything in common with the crossings of space and time. I think I may have wandered too far into the ozone here. Maybe it's time for a break. Revise. Print out effort. After all, I now have chapters 18 through 23 to upgrade and hard copy. I'm beginning to wonder if I'll ever catch up. I wonder if endings have cues like beginnings. Maybe every beginning is also an ending? No, I don't think so. Nor is every ending a beginning. Whatever. I have to go pee. All that tea. And what about breaks? They strengthen the continuum. Asterisk. I just went to the post office. Nothing. Except for another paycheck from that faithful tumbleweed contractor. Yay. And a couple bills. I had thought of sending the first 50 pages of Molasses to D. Reverend, but I don't really feel like it. I'm kind of sick of rejections. I'm starting to feel them as I'm preparing to send something. It's enough to feel them when I receive the form, SASE or nothing. I'm going to our bank to deposit the check from our tumbleweed customer. I feel like a tumbleweed. I could use some sunshine, fresh air, and movement. Asterisk. I must have needed movement. I tumbled around doing this and that and wallowing in insecurity for a few days. It's April 19th, Tuesday. When I came home from the grocery store today, stuck between the screen door and the door jamb was a full 3-page commentary on Molasses from my nephew, Lonnie. Happy days. Insecurity has been kicked in the ass. He has now read through 5, his favorite chapter. I'll have a quote here from Lonnie. I don't have the heart to make you wait for this one. So far, I like it very much. I'm not just saying that for the sake of your feelings or our relationship. I'm not that kind of person. I know it's an odd hour, but I woke up thinking about your book. Most of the time, when something wakes me, I'm not this nice. The note was dated 04/1994 at 02:15 Marine Corps time. Your book is fun to read. As I've said before, it's light. He goes on to make several very interesting comments and to say he disagrees with one of my statements. I have to discuss this with him before noting more here to be sure he and I are understanding each other correctly. This is the best compliment I've had so far, that my book woke someone up thinking about it. I used to put people to sleep. Now that's progress. Thumbs up. Make that clear over there. I can't get it. You can't even get that right. How do I make a thumbs up when I don't know which way to go? Okay, that's good enough. Now where am I in here? Thanks a bunch, Lonnie. I don't even know where there's a thumbs up in here. It must be my day for responses. I got a real one from an editor-in-chief at one of the most respected publishing houses, too. I did. He wrote 3 complete sentences, the middle one with the meat, and he gave me a cue to which to reply. Not intentionally, of course. And I was thinking all my queries were dead. It goes to show I'm sometimes wrong. In this case, I'm glad. Maybe I'll make it yet. Don't get your hopes up. I've gone through this repeatedly for several years, as you know by now. You'll note when I quote it below that his reply to my query was not what you'd call encouraging, even with a Q. Okay, I guess I'll pause there and then read that next time. It's fun reading this from now, knowing at least I've gotten this far. I've never made more than not even $100 a month on my Kindle sales, but just having them out there, knowing they're available, and what the enjoyment I'm taking doing these videos and having a few views, and knowing from the free books promo on Select some of the potential of using some of these programs. It means that the way things are set up, it is very possible that all of a sudden I could be selling enough books that Tom could retire. It could happen in one heartbeat, in 1 minute, in 1 day. And I think it'll happen when it happens, at whatever the perfect right time is. And I'm working toward that. In the meantime, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. And now at least I feel like a real writer because I have books out there on Kindle. Thank you, Amazon. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. And thank you, YouTube. And thank you, you. See you later.